Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone.
Hey.
Okay, so the first item we have on the agenda are the minutes from our February meeting. And I wanted to ask a quick question. Jana, I think I went looking for these on the weekend to review. On the email I got, there was no attachment, but was that just me or was that, okay.
You know what, it was funny because I kept looking and I just thought, I was on
Okay.
vacation last week and I just thought maybe
It wasn't there?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I saw the agenda, the draft agenda when that came, but anyhow.
I just looked quickly because like I
Yeah.
said, I was on
So-
vacation and we were responding
Yeah.
to coming.
Okay,
And then I
just so
thought
you
maybe
know,
it was on the first one,
For
but
14 days, I had that RSV. I was so
Oh.
sick. Angela's now not feeling real good. I go back and look at a couple things I did even then, and I'm thinking, probably shouldn't have been here.
well, you know, RSV they say is worse than
Yeah, so
uh,
she's been sick, and
COVID.
she went home a couple days early, but she's not feeling good either. Had to work its way
Oh yeah.
out, but I still can't get my voice back to normal, but it's okay.
Oh,
I feel
my.
much better.
So yeah, my
So
mine
I-
was
So,
just
okay,
in you.
apologize.
so I was just skimming through this, and I know it doesn't have our officer nominations or elections.
Yeah, it does at the bottom. It says at this time, the position of president needed to be voted on. Dirk Schmidt had stated he would continue as
Okay.
president. Amy made a motion to appoint him, Cindy seconded, and it was passed 4-0.
Okay, that was at the top of the
Okay,
meeting
then
then.
David
Okay.
Gall was nominated to continue as vice president. Amy nominated, Cindy seconded, and the motion was passed 4-0.
Okay. Okay, that should be at the top. Okay. I hadn't even gotten that far. So the payroll vouchers too, I had a note that it was Amy, Cindy, David, and Dirk. We all voted for it 4-0.
David wasn't there at the time. David walked in late.
For the vouchers, I thought he had walked into that moment. So when we did nominations, the president nomination, he wasn't there for
but-
that. So we did president nominations. Amy nominated Dirk. It was 3-0. Vice president, Amy nominated David. I had a vote of 4-0. Minutes, David as amended, 4-0. And then we did vouchers.
Okay, I will change
So,
those and I
okay.
will get corrected. So if you can amend it with corrections, I'll go to the computer when we're done and put those in and then send it.
I would like to do that very much,
Good.
yes. So those are just a couple of amendments. I don't know, and looking through, I think everything else, as far as getting quotes, Imagination Station Workday, I think everything else looks good. So I would entertain a motion to adopt the minutes as amended.
Okay, so moved.
Very well.
I'll second.
Okay. Seconding. All right. Is there any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the minutes as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Gotta vote myself. A motion passes 3-0. Very well. Okay. Vouchers. Do you have those over there, Janet? All right.
So the first one is the employee, which is $2,757, and this is the payroll expenses, and that's for you guys. And the second one, which is the blue, which I know you have to vote on them separately.
Yep.
This is the accounts payable, and this is $1,937. And I'm going to write those down again after you sign them. And
Exact and change.
Oh, Sue Ann, read that number to him. Weight glasses.
$1,937.30.
30 cents. Okay. And then on the payroll, Cindy, in front of you, what's the change amount?
Would that be the amount of voucher?
It's on the very
Amount.
front sheet. summary right there.
Oh, 2,757.98.
98 cents. Okay. All right. Okay. Any questions about the accounts? Well, actually, hold on. Whoops. Oh, payroll. Okay, yeah.
Payrolls.
Any questions about the payroll amount from the board? Okay. Very well. We'll go to a roll call vote for adopting the payroll vouchers in the amount of $2,757.98. We will start with Cindy.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Dirk. Sorry, I go off.
Sorry.
Just so I remember one. Dirk will be a yes, and Sue Ann is
A yes.
Very well. Okay. And I'll make sure to sign that before I send it back. All right. For the accounts payable vouchers, in the
Can you read
amount
that number? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
$1,937.30.
30 cents. Okay, thank you.
And I'm just going to take a moment to skim through it real quick. Okay, accounts payable in the amount of $1,937.30. We'll do a roll call vote. Cindy?
Yes.
Very well. Dirk is a yes. Sue Ann?
Yes.
All right, approved. And I will also make a note to sign this one before I send it back down. That way I don't get in trouble. We just have to always send the vouchers to me so I can sign them right after we adopt them. All right.
Do I have both of them?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Green
Thank you.
right there in front of you.
All right.
All right. Park Administrator's Report. Janet.
All right, we're going to start out with the big one. This is the Heartland Restoration Services. This is the people that we had a contract with for 3 years. 2019, 2020, we have for 3 years, 20, 21, and 22, okay, when we did the Goose Deterrent Center. In 2023, we discontinued them because our maintenance person said, we got this, right? They said, we got this. So we discontinued them. When Tyler went over there and took a tour with, Brian, you were with the tour, correct? When they walked around the Goose Deterrent and they did all that, were you with Tyler? Okay. When Tyler walked around the Goose Deterrent and looked at everything, he saw algae, he saw cattails, he saw invasive weeds, and he came in and he said, you know, you need to start it up again. So I reached out to Heartland, and they're willing to restart it again this spring. They're going to do the same entire thing. They only charged us 5% more than what they charged us back in 2022. So we
That's
can't.
pretty good.
Yeah, we were expecting 20%, and it was 5%. So the total cost for the scope of basic services, which the basic services are 5 maintenance visits, and during those visits, they bring out a team of people. They surround the Goose Deterrent. They pull weeds. They pull anything that looks bad. They clean, and they put in new mulch, new hardwood. And basically just make it look good. They go to the rain garden and they do the same thing. They just pull the weeds. And then if any plants are dead, they have what they call, they bring plugs with them. If you're familiar with that, plugs. They bring plugs in, and if, let's say they need to put 10 plugs in to replace 10 plants, they charge us $5 a plug.
Okay.
So they'll put those in, but then they call us and then they tell us, hey, we put in 5 plugs at the Goose Deterrent on whatever side they put it on, just so you're aware, drop some water on it. You know what I mean? So,
What is a Goose Deterrent? I'm
well,
sorry.
you know when you go to Riverside and you see our pond?
Yeah.
Back before you came on the board, we had a horrendous problem with the geese. Hundreds of them coming into the park, walking around the Grand Pavilion, begging at the tables for food, walking on our sidewalks and leaving goose droppings everywhere. And they were green and they were awful, and it just caused a lot of damage. And also too, they were getting up on top of our tables and nesting. So we had geese everywhere. And they're not friendly. I mean, they'll come for food, but they're not friendly. You can't pet them or anything. So we decided that a Goose Deterrent would probably be the best, if our best interest is to protect our pond and protect our sidewalks, protect our pavilion. Go ahead, you want to talk?
Well, the reasoning behind that is they like to take off and land from the water. And so if they land in the water and they have all these vegetation around it, which makes it more difficult to get up to start walking around, then they
Yeah.
go find a pond somewhere else.
Oh,
basically.
okay.
So we had this company come in and build this, so they built it, and we got funds for it. So, it was totally funded, but part of the funding was that we would maintain and take care of it, and we would assume that expense. So the original goose deterrent, Kyle Quant, got us complete government, got us money for that, got it all paid for, with the understanding, and it was in the contract, that we now assume all the maintenance that needs to be done on it. And we did that faithfully for 3 years. And then we had someone come in and say, well, we can do that. Well, we didn't do it. So anyway, so according to Tyler now, we need it. And it was very strongly suggested that we start it up again. So we're gonna get 5 visits, which is what we got in 2022. At that time, the visits were $425, now they're $450. They bring out 5 people. The hardwood mulch at that time was $200, it stayed at $200, that didn't go up. The plugs were $5 then, they're $5 now, so that didn't go up. And then one of the things that they do is they have a license to spray in your ponds. Not in ponds, they're not gonna do that for us, but they have a license to spray broadleaf, which broadleaf is so invasive that it literally can take over. So they have that license, and when needed, they will come and they will spray, but they'll always call. And they'll say, put signs up at your park around your pond, we're gonna be spraying for broadleaf. And then we can go put the little signs up that say spraying. And then they just spray right there, okay? So they take care of that. So this can be started, and strongly suggested it be started the 1st of April, okay? So that's and here's the paperwork. And so that's what you guys will be voting on tonight, whether or not to continue with this contract or not. And Brian's here in case you have any questions about, if not, he wants to do this. But Brian doesn't want to do it. I mean, not that he couldn't, but it's beyond his capabilities, hourly time to do this. So,
Quick question.
yes.
Looking at it more closely than what I did the other day. So we propose a cost of services of
Here,
$2,000.
look, it's amended.
Amended.
It's
Perfect.
amended.
So it's $2,450 then.
Yeah, so
Perfect.
when
Okay.
we looked at that, we did the math and we thought, wow, they're giving us a really good discount.
$2,450. Perfect.
But it wasn't a discount. I called him back and
Okay.
the guy made a math error when he added, imagine that.
Well, I was thinking, I'm like, wait a second, what?
So yeah, so you
So-
can remember now.
Just adding it up, cost of item services A, $2,450 plus the $625 is about $3,075 before we do any plugs, if needed.
If needed.
Did he have a ballpark number on, like, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20?
Well, he said, they take like 10, 15 plugs with them at any job they go to. They pull out 3 dead plants, they put in three live plants.
Okay.
Personally, it's too early for me to tell what's live and what's not, but in another month, we'll be able to look and see, and that's why they come in April.
Mhm.
They'll be able to look and see if something's curled up and dead, or if it's got hope to come back. And once they put those plugs in, generally, they don't have to put any more plugs in. So if they come in and they put in 10, that'll be $50, and then we'll just water them. And we'll know where they are, because they'll be fresh plugs. So, and then it'll be our job to just give them some water. Then they'll be back again in another month and a half, and then they'll make sure that we watered them and that they're doing well. So
Okay. The reason I asked.
It's coexistence. I mean, they're gonna talk to us and we're gonna talk to them, so we'll make sure.
The reason I asked is because I was thinking, with the number of plugs being uncertain, it'd be a good avenue to do a not to exceed motion. And if we just wanted to assume like 20 plugs to be conservative, that's another $100. And so we could just do, for example, 3,175, a not to exceed.
Well, and the nice thing is, if they come in and they say, oh my gosh, you guys, since we haven't been here for 2 years, we're gonna have to do more than that, I can bring that back to you in the April meeting or the May meeting and say, guys, it's gonna be another 20 plugs. And I can bring that back and you can amend your whatever, but
Okay.
I'm thinking that's a safe number, because if it serves me right, in 2022, we only had a few plugs that ever went in. Granted, it was,
That was in the second or third year of
Yeah,
maintenance or whatever, yeah.
And they,
So-
I mean, and we did water and we did take care of them, so that's all we have to do this year too, but.
Okay.
So,
Would the two of you like to do a not to exceed for $3,200 even? And that
Sure.
would cover 25 plugs?
yes.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to that effect.
I make a motion not to exceed, what was the amount?
3,200
3,200.
And I will
to
second that.
enter into the contract with Heartland for the services defined in their proposal.
Mhm.
Okay,
And I will second that.
very good.
And you said this is all government, covered by the government?
No,
So the original grant that
Oh,
we
okay.
had, to put in the goose deterrent system
That was covered.
a 100%
Okay,
grant that
so
we got
this
to
is
do an
what-
installation.
Okay,
This is the maintenance that we've been doing.
okay.
Yep.
And as we go forward, once, I see what's going on, and if it's something that we can take over in the future, then obviously we will. But,
Yeah.
Right now,
Well, that seems like a pretty good,
It's a one-man show.
Yeah.
So until we get everything kind of sorted out here over the next few months.
and you said they come 5 times
Well,
and they
5
bring
is-
5 men?
Yeah, they bring a group of people. They bring students from the college
Oh.
who are agricultural
Okay.
students.
That's cool.
That,
Yeah, it is
okay,
cool. And they
because that
come
is a
out-
lot of manpower, that, I mean,
They-
that's a good price to have that many people come
Sure.
and do all of that.
And they might be interns, I don't know, but they come out
Yeah.
from school and they're all they're all agricultural students and
Yeah.
people who come out who know plants.
Oh, yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
So it is good.
Yeah,
And they know plants that need to go around ponds because they're studying
Yes.
all of that.
well, yeah, they talked a lot the last meeting about cattails and how
Oh.
invasive they are and how they would take over the pond and,
Okay.
So can I move on or do you need to stop?
Well, so that was a move in a second, but we'll go to the vote.
Sorry.
then.
oh,
So, all those in favor of adopting the Heartland Restoration Services contract for the Riverside Gardens goose deterrent maintenance in the amount not to exceed $3,200, please say aye.
I,
Motion passes unanimously, 3-0. Okay,
Okay, the next point is, again, going back to the pond, but this is aquatics management. We have algae and we have some icky spots in the pond that are not clean and healthy looking. So aquatics management is who Tyler suggested I call, to have them come out and quote removing algae, treating the water, cleaning it up. They're wetland and lakes management specialists. And they will give us a quote and they're glad to do it. They do my addition, they do Tyler, they do a lot of the additions around here, but they need to wait just a little bit.
till it
They
warms
need,
up a little bit.
right, they needed to
This
warm
is
up
signed.
a little bit because right now things are dormant, but
I signed it.
Okay.
another couple weeks, when we get 60s, 70s regularly, that's when you're gonna see the growth. And that's when you're gonna see a lot of this stuff come up. So
Yeah.
as soon as we get a little bit better temperature, especially when I call them, we still have ice.
Oh, yeah,
So as soon as we get a little better temperature, they'll come out and they'll take pictures and they'll do water samples. And then they'll bring us, so when we come to the next meeting in
you'll have the
April,
quote.
I'll have all that
Yeah.
quote on, and we're getting quotes from different people. But they're just the one that was the most highly recommended because they're right here in Leo
Yeah,
daily.
So, I was talking to Tyler too. He called to let me know that he wasn't gonna be coming to the meeting tonight because he had conflict. And Pond Champs was the other one we mentioned last
Yep,
week, but
Pond Champs
apparently
is the other big one.
Aquatic supposedly
Aquatic.
bought Pond Champs?
They did, they're,
Okay.
so I called them both, this is really
Yeah.
funny, I called both numbers, and when I talked to the girl, she goes, aquatics management, I said, hi, I said, I've gotta get quotes from you, and I'm gonna get one from Pond Champs. She goes, hello, Pond Champs. She said, we are all one big unit now, and they're the only 2 licensed pond and management companies that service Leo and the greater area that are BBB, Better Business Bureau, and
Okay.
highly recommended with reviews. So
I need to see who our edition is using,
was
What do you
because,
think?
because they got rid of Pond Champs. They were not doing a good job.
We had a mixed result in Lionsgate a few years back, and so yeah, we've had aquatic
aquatics
management.
management.
Yeah,
So-
and then when they got quotes, they got a really good quote from somebody.
Well, now
But I'll have
aquatics management is in
Yeah,
charge.
So maybe
this-
that's better,
this-
maybe that's who they ended up going with, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look at the notes.
So I know Tyler mentioned to me, we'll see what the quote comes back with, but he had mentioned I think it was Ag Plus, over off of Milan Center Road, might be another entity that we could possibly get a quote from, but
Well.
we'll see what the
I
quote
only
from
need
Aquatic
two,
Management
right?
is.
I only need technically two.
So it depends on the dollar amount.
Okay,
If it's over a certain dollar amount, we actually need 3
okay,
different quotes.
all right.
Okay.
Okay, moving on, now you know about that. In 2024, the splash pad developed a leak. I called Vortec, this is the company that we bought the splash pad from about 8 years ago. Everything's out of warranty, which I knew that, but I asked for their just some help and some guidelines on what to do. They suggested we find some local services that work on ponds, maybe Fort Wayne works on that kind of thing, and maybe get them to come out and look at it. So I brought all that to Tyler. Tyler went. He goes, Brian and I will go over, and what they think the problem is, he said the number one problem from children banging and making the flowers and the mushrooms and stuff is there's a knuckle and there's a pipe that comes down, and then there's like a knuckle thing, and then there's a pipe that comes out. And there's no off on switch. When it turns on, all of those things come on. And there's some that have a dial inside so that maybe this comes on and this comes on, and it does
Right.
like that. But basically they said, so if you can get down in the concrete, chances are that's where your problem is. So what Tyler said, what they'll do is they'll go down, Brian, and cut around the bottom of the unit and try to get in there and look and see if
That's what it
is
is. Okay.
good work done. He said worst case scenario, what they'll have to do is, if it's not there, is they may have to saw concrete, and they may have to
Trench it, basically, yeah.
saw concrete, and they may have to trench it to find out. We know exactly where the water's coming from. We know where the wet spot, we know where it is, we know where it's coming from. But right where it's coming from, there are 3 cute little things. So to say which one, we can almost rule out the ones on the north side of the pond, but to say which one. But I've been over there enough on Saturdays, and I will tell you that sometimes those get sat on, they get banged into, kids sit underneath them, and and parents aren't
Saying anything.
proactive sometimes about it. Forget we're on tape. But anyways, sometimes they do take a
Yeah.
beating. So that's what's going to happen with that. So we won't know anything at all until end of April, 1st of May, when they get over there and they decide to turn it on one day, let it run for a while, and then just check and see what they can see.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that. So we really don't know yet.
Yeah.
I mean, does it work? Yes. Is it a problem? No, not a problem at all. I mean, it does not affect the actual whatever. There's just a spot when you come off the concrete.
Where it's saturated.
Yeah, that's just wet, and it's not wet at first. It just over time it gets wetter and wetter, and then it dries out when we got warm weather, and then it gets wet again.
Okay.
So is it going to cause us to put it down? Only if they have to.
Well, what could potentially happen is if it keeps going on and on, it's gonna erode everything underneath to the point to where instead of possibly cutting a small hole in the concrete, might be a huge hole in the concrete.
Okay.
Yeah, so-
Plus,
So
would it make it dangerous?
It probably should have been taken care of the second it was shut down last year.
Okay.
But, so, now we're kinda, we're
Yeah.
gonna be under the gun to make sure, get it taken care of before it opens up.
When does it open up?
Memorial Day weekend. We have a dry opening a couple days before Memorial where they turn it on and let it run, and it's just absolutely ice cold, freezing water
Oh, but
for a couple days, but they'll turn it on and then we turn it off. We just make sure
Yeah.
everything works well and everything's good, we turn it off, and then Friday morning it goes on, and we publicize it that Memorial Day weekend splash pad is on, see you at the park. We kind of make a real big deal about it,
okay.
so.
Are we going to the end of April just to take any kind of winter weather, freeze thaw,
We haven't discussed
completely out of
it,
the picture?
and we're gonna have to kind of just play it by ear, and that's what I said, that's what probably should have been taken care of immediately when it shut down last year. Just, you've got, you probably had 2 months to get the problem resolved, but, so,
No,
Okay.
no.
I mean, hindsight's 20/20, so, well, hopefully we can get it resolved pretty quickly. I mean, I'm concerned if we let it go through the whole summer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously we can if we have to, but it could potentially turn into a bigger issue. Again, if it's already a
Yeah.
big issue, but it could
So if we cut a hole, we make the repair.
Yeah.
Are we worried about, you know, like
Yeah, I
global
mean-
fill down in the hole with some compaction? to get a
Right,
good
I'm
product?
just concerned if it goes all summer long, it might just keep eroding and eroding and eroding to the point to where, 2 years down the road, frosting heaves and, next thing you know, we got concrete sinking and, so, I mean, if we can prevent that, the better, but. And then, until we get over there and really dig into it, because Tyler and I are both going into it 100% blind, so. So we're gonna have to.
Do you know who maintains all of Fort Wayne?
Fort
Yeah,
Wayne, they have their own maintenance people.
for the Parks Department there.
Yeah.
Okay, because they
But
have
you
so.
gotta remember, they have a park department of like 200 people,
Right,
so
Yeah.
there's just
Okay.
me and Brian.
yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so, this is only for you guys, I'm just telling you that, May, June, July is gone, August is filling, and I'm just telling you that if you know of anybody that wants an August to December at the Cedarville, they need to call me now, I mean, like right
May,
now.
June, and July every day or
It's
weekends?
gone. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and Tuesdays and sometimes Thursdays, so, yeah,
That's
it's just.
She's on it.
Oh, I know.
I'm giving you heads up, because I don't want anybody to be disappointed. I want, if you guys know of anybody, if you got anybody in showers, or if
Okay.
your first birthday's coming up or
Yeah.
anything, you need to get on it right away, because we are booking, so.
Okay,
Rebranded, the band we had last year that was our top draw, it was an amazing concert, everybody loved them, they are a Christian rock band, they are from Gateway Woods. And they called last year and said, hey, can we perform at your park? We won't expect anything, we just really want to spread the word and sing some songs and do stuff. It was amazing, we had a great turnout, people were on Facebook over and over and over.
this
again
was at
about-
Riverside?
Over and
Okay.
over again about how great they were, how wonderful. The next time they came, again, great turnout. So they have called and said, can we come back again this year? And I said, yes, you can. So they're gonna come back and probably do 2 nice concerts for us this summer.
Awesome.
Anybody have any comments about that?
No, that's awesome.
The craft program, we had a lot of parents ask for a longer period of time because 6 weeks of crafts, they said the kids, they felt they wanted more and they didn't understand why we didn't start the first week of June. So this week we're starting the first week of June. So the craft program will be all of June every Wednesday and all of July every Wednesday. And so instead of 6 this year, we're gonna do 8 or 9 crafts. We have to stop in August because kids go back to school
Yes.
and there's just nobody gonna show up in August. So that's, we've already got.
And that's at Riverside or that's in
That's at
the?
Riverside, and it's
Okay.
at the South Pavilion. So
Okay,
it's not the one near the splash pad, it's the one that's
Okay.
farther down, a little more private, a little quiet. So
and
we're
where is that
hoping-
advertised? Or how do people
Everywhere.
find?
Our
Okay,
town website, park website, we did put it in the paper last year. We did put a
Okay.
paper, we put it in there what we were doing.
okay.
So all that goes in the paper. Rebranded went in the paper,
And what ages is that?
the Courier.
Or no, what age?
What age
of-
kids?
Yeah,
Oh, for crafts?
Yeah.
Oh, the last year we had 4-year-olds all the way up to 12 and 13-year-olds.
okay.
So I try to have, I know this is how you're not supposed to talk
Oh.
anymore, but I have crafts that geared towards boys. I have crafts that are really girly and really cute.
Okay.
And we don't ever push towards anybody. We let everybody pick. So if a 4-year-old comes up and wants to do an alligator with stained glass, we give them an alligator. If a girl comes up and wants to do the barn, we give them a barn.
Okay.
We have the crafts there, we have suggested ages on them, we have all the
Okay.
supplies, we provide a juice box and a snack, and we charge $3 a person.
Wow.
So, yeah, and the crafts, we already have all the crafts for this season, they're already done.
And $3 a person covers all those supplies?
No, the park board pays half and the people pay half. The reason why we did that is because many families come in with 3 and 4 kids, because it's right by the splash pad. So you get a family that comes in and they've got a 10, a 6, a 4, and smaller, and they all want to do a craft, and then they all go to the splash pad. We didn't want to make it cost prohibitive, and last year we even had a mom come in with kids and she didn't have any money at all, and one of the ladies at the craft thing said, let me buy your crafts for your kids, and she paid for all the crafts. So we really wanted to keep it at a very
That's
decent price.
very reasonable.
And I'm very good. I get a teacher discount at Michael's, and from when I was a teacher. And so when things are buy one get one, and I get my teacher discount, we do really well.
Okay.
Good deal.
Yeah,
That
we
is
have
wonderful.
fun stuff.
Yeah.
And we have full-size barns. And then Kathy Harmeyer, who's one of our volunteers,
went on Amazon and she's buying us farm animals so that when they finish their barn, they're gonna get cows and horses to put in their barn. The barns are this big with full roofs. They're really cute.
Oh.
So,
Aw,
anyway,
Very nice.
I know, I love it. It's just like, it's so fun. Okay, so you know about that. Yoga in the Grand Pavilion is gonna continue this summer. What we do, a yoga instructor gets $50 an hour. And it's an hour and a half, so that right there would have been like $75, $80. And I called around 2 years ago, and then I talked to the lady that does her yoga at our place, and she wasn't really interested. But then I said, well, how about if we trade you pavilion rental? You come do this. How about if we barter back and forth? She liked that. So last year, all summer, she did the yoga, and we traded her for yoga rentals for the pavilion, which was really good. So we had no out-of-pocket expense, and Tom doesn't have to clean on her yoga because all they do is they get on a mat, they get up, they don't have any food, and they leave.
Yeah.
So we have no maintenance fee at
Fantastic.
all. So
great.
I know, I love that. So we're continuing that program.
Real
I
quick,
don't know.
just to clarify, we're talking about Grand Pavilion Yoga for Cedarville Pavilion rental.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And she even brings all the mats. She comes up there with 15 mats and provides, so you don't even have to have a mat. And we advertise that. We advertise, don't have a mat? No problem. We have mats. So anyway, she's really cool. Okay, tomorrow, I'm meeting the cleaning ladies. Brian took over the ladders, and the spring cleaning starts tomorrow. And they're David Gall's cleaning ladies that come to his house. I called them, and they were the only ones that had a free Tuesday or Wednesday to come. Everybody else wanted a Saturday, and we don't have a Saturday. So they're going to come tomorrow. Now, they expect to get paid tomorrow, which is an understanding. They don't work for net 30. So I'm going to ask you guys tonight to make sure that you authorize so that Angela tomorrow can write a check to Clara, who is David's cleaning lady, and pay her because they're going to do windows in and out, and they're going to do the whole
Yeah.
pavilion. So I just want to make, now we don't know possible charge. I will tell you that they're going to be there at 8. Brian's going to be there at 8. I'm going to be there at 8. And I don't know what time that they'll leave. But I
Right.
just want you to be understanding that, you know, they do get 25 an hour.
Yeah.
They're going to get a good job. They're going to do windows. Windows alone for that place were going to be $580.
Oh. Yes.
The lowest quote I got for doing windows was $580. Now, they're not going to charge that. But that was having a team come out and clean them. So I just want you guys to be aware.
And if they're anything like the other Amish or Mennonite girls like that we've used, my son has used, they are fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
they
a great
do
job.
not stand around. They are like,
Yep, so I want you to know that I have no idea what it's gonna run, but I want you to authorize Angela to pay them tomorrow for their services.
and I forgot, are they just doing this like
Spring and
fall?
Mhm.
Okay,
They've agreed to come back at late September, early October.
Okay.
They've agreed to come back and do the same thing again.
okay.
So,
Um,
Dirk,
well, to that effect, I like not to exceed for this.
I know you do.
Rather than like blank check kind
I
of thing.
understand.
So you mentioned $25 an hour for 2 ladies.
3 girls, there's 3
Three,
ladies.
okay.
Mhm.
So that's $75 an hour.
Right,
What do we think as a maximum? 4, 6, 8 hours?
no, I know when Susie and I did it, we didn't do any windows and we were down there for 3.5 hours.
I was gonna say,
So, and we did no windows, we just strictly did mop boards, we scrubbed the floor, we did the kitchen, we tore everything apart, we wiped all the shelves, we took everything down, we put it all clean back up. And so that was a big job.
That was
So,
3.5 hours, you said.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was 3.5 hours for each of us, but now we got 3 women and they're gonna be doing windows in and out, so. I don't know, but I'm taking them home, and I know because I offered to drive them because it's $20 if they have to call a ride, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'll drive you home.
well, if we did it, if it's $75 because there's 3 and we did
Right.
8 hours, that's $600. I can't imagine they'd be
Well, that's
there.
why, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm fine with 8 hours. I just,
Yeah.
I was just trying to feel like.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you that if we just hired the windows.
You'd have that.
Clean, it was
Yeah.
$580, and that just got us windows in and out, because they do a scaffolding. They come in and set up a scaffolding and move the scaffolding around the building, because he said, we don't do ladders, it's too.
these girls do?
No, the
Oh,
windows people come
yes.
in and they put a
Okay.
scaffolding up, then they disassemble it, then they take it outside,
Yeah.
and then they assemble it back up, so they
Yeah.
have a lot of labor
Yeah.
intensive to do it. Which, I mean, I'm not getting them to do those windows, you know how high they are? I mean, those vestibule windows are 14 feet, 15 feet, 16 feet?
We
And
can
they're-
get by with a 16, or a 12-foot ladder, but
Yeah.
actually, I
They're
think we
reaching.
can get by with a 10-foot ladder.
And-
But
and
we got a 14-foot ladder over there and a 12-foot ladder, so.
So he took 2 ladders over, so we got that covered. But anyway, so they'll be there tomorrow, 8 o'clock, I don't know when, and I do agree with you, you should set up max, but I want,
I mean, a max just to cover what
Yeah.
we think
right,
it definitely would entail. So, sending 8 hours, I think is reasonable. So $600.
Yeah,
not to exceed.
Not to
well,
exceed.
not to-
Well-
yeah.
Or,
Would someone like to make that motion then?
I'll make a motion that we allow 8 hours, $75 an hour for a maximum of $600.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
And I will, obviously, the minute they get done, I will
Yes,
I can
sure.
tell Dirk what it was, so he knows, so.
Okay. All right. We
Move
have a
on?
motion. Well, we have to
Oh.
vote on it. Janet, you're jumping,
I know.
you're skipping
I
ahead
just-
here.
I'm sorry.
Just because we're all likely going to vote yes doesn't mean
Oh,
we
no, I
can
just
skip the
had
vote.
so much
So,
stuff to tell you about. Go ahead.
all right. So we have a motion to authorize deep cleaning at the Cedarville Pavilion with the 3 ladies mentioned, $75 an hour for 8 hours, an amount not to exceed $600. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, so, can I finish real quick, and this will be the
Yes.
last thing I promise. I know I'm taking like all your time, but, so you can pass these around. Originally, last year when I brought to the board's attention that I wanted to do a Easter egg hunt this year, I wanted to do it at Cedarville, and I wanted to go in that morning and everybody go out and just massively put them all over Cedarville, have the kids come in, register at the pavilion, come into the pavilion, get a basket, head out and go. And when I started talking to Angie and I started talking to different people about it that had kids, the number 1 complaint, I keep forgetting her name. There was a lot of discussion among parents about how their younger children were treated at egg hunts. And when I called the preschool and I talked to Lisa, there is no one around that does a Little Tykes egg hunt, where 5 and under can come in, walk slowly, walk around, fill their basket with eggs. We have gold coins that are like this big. We're gonna put gold coins in some of the eggs, and then we have, I don't know if you've seen the boxes over here, but I have all kinds of prizes. Then we're gonna put that up on the pavilion and put them up there, and when they come in, they can open up their eggs, and they can turn in their gold ticket, and they can take a prize home.
That's
So,
cute.
We'll be there.
yeah, you'll be there with grandkids, I know you will.
Yep.
Yeah,
So that's why we decided to do Little Tykes. Now, Tyler called the attorney and said 2 things. 1, the word Easter. So I went on the website and I found out that Easter is not a religious proprietary word. Easter is a word that can be used by anyone to talk about any type of function. You can have an Easter party at your house, you can have an Easter egg hunt, you can do everything. So Easter is not a proprietary religious word, which is nice. Just like Merry Christmas is not a religious proprietary word. Anybody can use Merry Christmas in your parties in your language. So that was immediately okay. Because my first thought was, well, if I want to call an Easter egg hunt, I need a sponsorship that's a 503c that happens to also be religious, so that I can use the word religion. Well, then the attorneys and I found out today, no, you don't have to do that. So we're good. Okay, then after putting this all together and having it all planned out, Stephanie from Grable came over and said, I want to have an Easter egg hunt, but they won't let me. She goes, I have the money for it, I have the eggs for it, I have everything, but they don't want to do anything. Nobody wants to do anything. She goes, can I help you? Can I get involved in yours? So the next thing I know, it became the Leo-Cedarville Grable. And so now we are co-hosting this Little Tykes. They're going to publicize it on their end heavily with their different areas, although you got to remember their different areas all come here for their daycare. Grable's kids come to Kid City, Cedar Creek or whatever, so they're all gonna get a flyer, little flyer in their backpacks that tell them about it. So we are now co-hosting with Grable, so we're splitting everything 50-50. Cindy's kicking in $100 for food and snacks, and the stuff that goes into the eggs, and the prizes, and then I'm hoping that we can also match that. We have $600 in our promotional fund. We have not touched it. Last year we didn't touch it, so we have $600 in promotional fund to use towards promotions. This is like a promotion. So I'm going to ask, and I can't make a motion because I'm not part of the board, but I'm going to ask for $100 to go towards things to fill the eggs with and additional prizes for the kids. There's my spiel. So keep in mind, this will be in the Courier. They're going to do a little story on it and how it came about and why it's the Little Tykes. So,
Man, I just
Nice. Go ahead.
how many people will show up? I'm betting a lot.
well,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you saw what you
Yeah.
have, I had 500. She brought over 1,000, and you two
Good.
girls said you'd fill them.
Yeah,
So,
So we can help. okay.
no kid will, I trust you, nobody will go home disappointed.
Oh,
They won't. We
Yeah.
will make sure, and if we have to take a time out for a minute and go put out another 500 eggs, we will.
okay.
You know?
So because saying it's 1 to 2:30, you're thinking that people can show up at 2 o'clock and look around, or you're
Sure.
hoping everybody will be there?
No,
What if you have somebody that's there for an hour and a half?
Well, you gotta remember, 500 kids don't really like to walk around for an hour.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And
I was just
and
thinking of
2-year-olds
somebody.
And 3-year-olds don't like to walk around.
Okay.
And also the bag that they're gonna get, the rule is they can fill their bag, and the bags
Okay.
hold 18 eggs.
Okay.
So,
Just
you
wanted
know,
to make sure that
Yeah.
you wouldn't get anybody that would wipe,
No,
take too
they're-
many.
They're handled bags.
Okay.
So mom and dad can hold, they're not Easter
Okay.
baskets, mom and dad
Right.
can actually hold them, and we're gonna decorate them with stickers, and we're gonna write their names on. So when they come in, they're gonna get a bag and
Okay.
like Brandon or Sil,
Okay.
whatever. So if they sit it down, if they're 3 years old and they sit their bag down, they don't remember who it was,
Yeah,
we'll have adults around and
But,
go,
yeah.
"Are you Brandon? Because here's your bag,
Yeah.
honey." So we're
Okay.
gonna be involved. So they'll get that bag, it'll be cute, and then they can go around and then they can fill that, and then when they come back, we're gonna have a little, the tables will all be tableclothed, so they can sit down and they can open it up to look for that golden.
oh, I think it's
And then if
adorable.
the parents want
Yeah.
to leave the eggs with us, they're more than welcome
Oh.
for next year to be reused. If the parents want to take the eggs home, it's fine. We're
Okay.
okay with that too. We're not gonna tell anybody
Okay,
you cannot or cannot have them, because some people might want to take them home and
Yeah. okay.
use them themselves the next day. But we're
Poor
gonna-
kids
we're
that
gonna-
age, I know that they, like my granddaughters would want to, yeah, they'd hang on
And
to
that's
it.
fine, and we're okay with that. We really are, we're okay with that, because we always figured we can get more.
Okay.
So what do you think?
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
One question, only because I saw this post earlier today. Patty O Rainbow, the leprechaun, and his golden egg.
Okay,
Are we on
so-
golden egg theme like right
Well,
now?
So Stephanie
Okay.
decided she wanted to do a leprechaun themed thing, since they wouldn't let her, oh God, I want tape. Since they didn't let her do her egg thing, she went and she got a bunch of rocks and painted them gold.
Was that just today, or is it going to be next Monday?
No, it's just the next 4 days.
Next 4 days. Okay. I didn't see that
So-
like today through such and such,
Okay.
and so I was wondering.
So anyway,
okay.
she went and she numbered them 1 through 40 or 1 through 50, and she put that all over the side carpets.
Oh, how cute.
And then at her building, at her office, she put a tub of all kinds of things from Dollar Tree. So this was filled this morning. And kids came in this morning at 9:05 on their way to school and brought us some gold, and then some kids came in for their lunch, and then some little tiny kids came in this afternoon that a mom took them over, and they were like 4 years old.
Cool.
Stephanie just bought all the things, so we didn't do that.
I saw an email from Tyler about our age range, and like age under 40 is not a protected class. So yeah, I mean
No,
we can
I-
target 0 toddlers age 5.
Right,
Yeah, I don't
exactly.
think they
Well, and the
qualify
same thing
that.
when I talked to Pastor
So.
Jeff's family, they run the Methodist thing, and when originally I thought we needed a 501c because, a not-for-profit, because not-for-profit religious just gives you all kinds of opportunities to say things and do things and have things.
there's no such thing as age discrimination on a 6-year-old though, so
Right.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that shouldn't be an issue,
So when I
but,
talked to them and they do their toddler carnival, they do their toddler carnival for 8 and under. And I said, do you have any problem with that? She goes, no, it's,
Yeah.
it's 8 and under. When you come to our school carnival, it's 8 and under.
Mhm.
Because all our rides and all our things are 8 and under.
This is
So-
at the Methodist
and,
Church?
yeah,
Okay.
So that made me feel a lot better, so,
all right. So, Janet has made the request for us to allocate $100 from our promotions light item to help co-sponsor the Leo-Cedarville Grable Easter egg hunt. Is there a motion to do so?
I so move to make motion to spend $100 or give $100 out of the promotional account to go toward the Easter egg hunt.
I will second that motion.
Very good. Is there any further discussion or questions of Janet? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
okay, so you two ladies who have volunteered to fill the eggs, I just need a time when, I have a table in the back, the garage is heated. I just need a time when you can come sit in chairs, grab the eggs, fill them, dump them in a basket, and grab the eggs, fill them. So whenever you two can come and sit and just give me a couple hours, and we'll help. Angela and I will help, but it's kind of doubled from what I originally kind of thought, you know?
Do we have enough to put in the eggs?
We will as soon as we get Stephanie's money and our money. Right
Okay.
now, I went, and everything down here that's in that fire, I went and I bought that myself. So, but then it got big.
Janet, for the sake of time, let's move on.
Yeah, so, okay, yeah, okay, sorry.
Anything else then?
No, we're good.
If
No,
not,
with
okay.
With their help and everything, we are awesome.
So Janet, I know I shot over an email when I was stopped at the traffic signal on my way over here. The limited use license agreement revision proposal, I sent that by email. While we move on and chat about Imagination Station, could you print off a few copies
Yes.
for everyone to look at real quick?
Okay.
I have the language here in front of me, I can read, but it's always nice for everyone to have a paper copy in front of them. Okay, update on Imagination Station Playground. Brian, I was chatting with Tyler and with David independently. Friday morning, we were thinking it'd be a good time for the 4 of us to go over there and look at all the different issues we can find. This is working, not that working.
I'm good with that. This is the first I've heard of it, I'm good with that.
Well, we mentioned doing it possibly at our February meeting for one day in February, but it didn't happen. So Tyler seemed to suggest that Friday morning would be okay for you to go over there.
Yeah, no problem.
Any preference on time for you?
Probably earlier the better.
Like 8 o'clock-ish be good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I will let Tyler and David know that. David said he had something at noon was his earliest commitment that he had to do, and Tyler had something at 10, so, okay.
Did you have to be there? Is that the same Friday that they're cleaning?
No, that's tomorrow.
Oh,
No.
oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
While they're cleaning, I'm gonna be mowing, so.
Okay.
8 p.m. on 314 at Cedarville Park. Okay. And this is for putting together all of the different items that we want to try to tackle with a work day before we stain and seal everything. So I know there's at least a couple of items that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah,
The one bridge, and you've already got a list here.
Well, I
too,
haven't really even went through there yet. 'Cause,
Okay.
I mean, my plate's like ridiculously full, but I mean, been taking my kids down there for years, so I know
Sure.
there's a lot of issues that have been neglected for several years.
Yep. So, okay. 8 p.m., 314. I'll shoot something out to Tyler and David and to you as well. Refresh my memory. I know we've made some changes to the email addresses. Do you still do maintenance at leocedarville.com, or do you have one specific to you?
That'll come to me, but it's also BCON,
Okay.
BCON at the usual.
Okay.
Do we need to let the public know that we're closing the park while we're doing that?
So, looking at those different items, the park will be open. We'll just be floating around looking at it. When it comes to do the
Doing
work day, yeah, we'll advertise that.
Okay.
Same as if the splash pad
Okay.
repairs went beyond Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and I hear Janet printing those off. While she's doing that, so the limited use, we talked about at the last meeting, changing the fee to $25 an hour, up from 20, to try to reflect kind of some of our costs associated with that. And then the rewording I suggested, and this was specifically because we had activities like yoga and whatnot, which technically that was a small business, it was not a not-for-profit corporation, et cetera, et cetera. So the revised wording that I suggested, which Jen will have a copy in front of you in a moment, is licensee stipulates it is a local club, foundation, community association, not-for-profit corporation, unincorporated association, or small business that is of a civic, charitable, benevolent, or scientific nature, or is organized for the purpose of providing educational or physical fitness instruction to the community that seeks to use only the main room of the park building for the purpose of holding an organizational meeting or class and no other purpose. Do we feel like that?
That's,
I think that
I was gonna say,
Well,
that seems
some of
pretty
it was
broad.
already there, and I'm like, man, all right, how do I wordsmith this to fit in? So,
Yeah, that
seem to
seems
read
very
okay?
broad.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Janet.
That was the lady that, I only picked it up because it was the lady that is cleaning tomorrow, just to confirm that she will be there at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, good deal.
All right, Janet. So I just read it to them, but I'll read it to you, see if you agree with it as well. Licensee stipulates, this is on the first page, paragraph 4-ish, 3-ish, 4-ish. Licensee stipulates it is a local club, foundation, community association, not-for-profit corporation, unincorporated association, or small business that is of a civic, charitable, benevolent, or scientific nature, or is organized for the purpose of providing educational or physical fitness instruction to the community that seeks to use only the main room of the park building for the purpose of holding a meeting or class.
Yeah.
Class I threw in there, and that was a modification, and then the purposes of, I kind of wordsmithed that. So we think that would capture yoga and other activities like that. So
Home association meetings, they said.
Yeah.
association meetings were already
Sure.
covered.
And we have,
the language we
Amy
have.
Bakes comes in twice a year and does a cooking demonstration and
Class.
class.
Only because I use class
The
instead of
sourdough
numerator, but
lady
yes.
is gonna
Yep.
come in and do a class.
Oh,
And
fun.
teach people how to do sourdough.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, looks good to me.
so,
I will put it in effect starting
well,
tomorrow.
we will vote on this. So I would like, I'll make a motion myself. I tell you what, I'll take the heat off you, Cindy. So I would like to make a motion to adopt actually, I'm gonna revise this. That needs to be changed to the Cedarville Park Building limited use license agreement presented here before the board tonight.
I second that.
Okay. Okay. Thinking about this, I would like to amend that to say effective immediately
tomorrow.
for all new license agreements that come in. So that way it has a date that it actually goes into effect. Are you okay with that amendment?
Yes,
Perfect. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Oh, I missed the part about how you and Brian are gonna go do the walkthrough at the. Can you
So,
talk about that real quick?
Brian, Tyler, David, and I are going to go over to the Imagination Station. I'm going to suggest 8 a.m. on Friday morning to put together a list of all the different items that we'd want to try to tackle on a workday.
So this Friday?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna do an exploratory search of
Mhm.
everything?
Yeah, and Brian mentioned, he knows of a few things he's seen over the years. I know of at least a couple of things I've seen following my toddler around. So okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I believe that is everything that we had on the agenda. And it is 6:27, so, is there any other new business before the board? Other than a general inquiry I'll ask, Janet, I know it's March and not April, and April is usually when we start getting things ready for the spring, but, one of my coworkers I know mentioned the pickleball courts. Are we planning to open those in April, or late April, or early May?
I was gonna ask about that, and
They're
our reason
coming,
was is,
they're coming out, they need a week of solid good weather, they're coming out to restripe and redo
Yes.
all the stuff.
Okay,
And it has to sit for a few days, and then voila.
'cause I seen multiple people over there just today alone, right before I came over here, there was a lot
Well,
of people
not,
in there. I
not
don't know what-
having the color doesn't affect it, but when
Mhm.
it's completely lined and beautiful and colored, yes, it's gonna be pretty,
okay.
pretty.
So, do we just need to maybe post a notice then, when it comes time to do that?
He will call
Okay,
me. The man that's doing it has my phone number, and he will call me the week before he comes, so that I can let maintenance know that they are coming and what day they're coming, whether.
It probably has to do with the temperature.
Oh,
outside.
yeah.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
painting, and
Yeah.
they come out, and they do core temps, so they
Yeah.
come out and they check to make sure that
Yeah,
the worst case scenario is they want to bubble, they want it down smooth and hot and
Uh-huh.
warm, so, yeah, he'll let me know when they're doing it. But, right, you can play right up until the day, I mean,
Right.
so,
but they're,
and then that day we'll close it,
Yeah.
and then we'll keep it closed until it's ready.
okay. Second question on the volleyball nets. Is there a target time frame that we're thinking on that?
We always put them up the first week of May, and
Perfect.
he is all by himself, and it is not a one-man job, he needs another person, so it'll really depend on whether or not he gets a
We
second.
should have somebody by then,
Yeah.
so.
If not, it's gonna take another person to go help. It is a two-man job, or two really hardy women.
Mhm.
I can't do it, it's so heavy, so.
We'll make it happen. We'll
Yeah.
do it.
And last thing on the volleyball court, I'm thinking, was it last year or the year before that we got some additional sand to bring the levels up?
We're good,
Perfect.
we're good. We raked it, and we took the Bobcat over there and moved it around and did stuff with the sand, and it was good last year, so unless for some, the wind erosion is what kills us.
Yep, oh yeah, oh
So
yeah.
unless for some reason that 40, 50-mile-an-hour wind gust we had, he'll be able to know, because as soon as you start to mow and you don't blow grass, you blow sand, you know how much erosion there was, because it literally goes from the volleyball to Grable Road, and it will be that thick in the grass, and when you go to mow, you are just,
blowing sand.
So
yeah.
the one thing I would ask them, Brian, is if you happen to take a look at, if you think it needs sand, just a quote at our April meeting. That way we can authorize it. And
Yeah, like I said, I haven't even looked at it, because realistically, from the day I started till now, realistically, this is the first week we've had decent weather.
Yeah.
Snow on the ground, so,
Yeah,
until I can get over there and look at stuff, we're kinda in the dark for a moment.
It's all coming, it's all happening, this is just so freaky that we're
It's all
sitting here talking
happening
about
fast.
65-degree weather in
Mhm.
March,
yeah.
when it's snowed.
And it could snow again. in a
And
week.
indeed,
Yeah.
Is there anything else attention-wise that maybe we might need to authorize or get a quote for the April meeting in terms of opening?
Well, in April, I'm gonna bring you
Summer
the
season.
quote for the pickleball sign, because he
Sure.
doesn't know how much it's gonna cost yet.
Okay,
So, I gave him all the specs. What I did is just basically copied 6 other people's pickleball rules and just said, instead of, town or whatever.
this
just
is
say-
graphic systems we're going to again?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, we
sure.
have an account there.
Yep.
Any place else wants money up front. Anytime you do that kind of specialty work, they want money up front. We don't do that. I mean, the government doesn't work that way.
They've done several signs for us.
Yeah, and they've done all
Done
our
well.
park signs for us, so yeah, and they'll bill us, so.
Okay.
will the pickleball court, will people be able to, line it up ahead of time or is it first come, first serve?
So, right now, it's just first come, first serve, and there's
Okay.
a little etiquette thing about, I put my paddle on,
Right.
like I got
There's-
next,
there's a-
just like your quarter on the pool table, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
It's just like that. There is a long white piece of PVC pipe, and if you are a regular pickleball player, you know that you come up and you put your paddles in there. Say my paddles are green. I put my green paddle in there, and I say next, and then when they're done, I go get my green paddle and I bring my friends over and then we play.
Yep.
Garbage can. We need another garbage can.
Okay.
We took the garbage can from the South Pavilion and we moved it over there so we had a garbage can. And then this South Pavilion is short, and then what happens is that can fills up so fast. And when it was 2 cans sitting there, we were in good shape because it was fine, but now.
This is our expanded metal garbage can.
Right,
that we
the
have.
nice ones we
Okay.
do. Now, they're within the budget that I'm allowed to get, but I am gonna bring you out and tell you that we do need another one. And it should match the benches, so it looks nice. And it was strongly suggested to me that we get one since it's not gonna be, the ones under the pavilion are great, but it was strongly suggested since it's gonna be not under a pavilion, that it has a flat lid, so that when they put stuff in, rain doesn't fill it up and bees don't get out of it.
Yeah.
Also, I had a complaint yesterday from a lady that rented the pavilion last year for her son's birthday party and a splash pad. She called to rent it again this year, and she goes, however, last year when we got there, the bees were so bad, and my son's allergic, and she said there was a swarm in the North Pavilion. Now, I wasn't made aware of it. Now, I do know from the bee person that swarms tend to come and go. Honeybees tend to come in and, because we had planted all those fresh flowers.
Yeah.
So I know that they come and they go. So I didn't hear anybody else say anything about it. But this year, we're gonna be a little more proactive and we'll make sure that in the springtime, we're looking in crevices and cracks, because last year they power wash them. And
Yeah.
it doesn't, you can power wash them on Friday and Saturday, some
Well,
bees
you know,
come
as a
in and-
teacher, if I'd take field trips, and if somebody has apple juice and they've spilled it around the
Right.
trash can, or, there's some things in nature you just cannot,
Yeah.
it just happens.
Well, and pest management will not spray bees.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
They move them. So
Yeah.
what they come out is they do is I had a hive at my house that had over 10,000 bees in it, and they wouldn't kill them. So what they do is they make them dormant, and then they take the whole entire hive and they
Wow.
relocate it. Because bees are so,
yeah, I just don't
You
know
know.
how much the park,
so we'll
have
keep an eye
control
on that
over
this
that,
year.
yeah.
We'll keep a good eye on it.
Which pavilion was that?
North Pavilion, and I have a feeling, they didn't sting anybody. I have a real feeling though that they might have been, because we had just planted a whole bunch of new plants that were beautiful flowering. They could have been
it
honeybees.
could have been, but it's so many
I
different
know.
foods attract
I
them.
know. So anyway, that's all,
Alright.
I'm just making you aware of that we're gonna keep a better eye on that this year and make sure we're power washing and looking for hives and wasps and things, so.
They will look way better this year, I promise. Even if
Um,
I edit the one-man show, it'll look better.
Only because you mentioned power washing, and I know, Brian, this will be your first season over there in maintenance. Just a splash pad. I know we had that algae buildup toward the start of the season next year, so.
But so did Fort Wayne, so did New Haven. It's something that happens when you have 90-degree weather and you have suntan lotion, so.
And it's just something we want to make sure we watch for.
We stay on
So,
for, yeah. But the way that the New Haven guy told me was when you have suntan lotion and you have a whole bunch of kids in there and that suntan lotion is going down in that concrete, it creates a slippery environment. Well, the minute it's down there and it's sticky and it's slick, that's the perfect place for algae to just explode.
Wow.
And you can't stop sunscreen because
Well,
we
no.
don't want to, because we want the kids, but you're right, we need to be on top of it more, and we need to be, in 2023, we power washed and cleaned the splash pad daily. Monday through Friday, Rick Fear and I went over there with the power washer, and he cleaned that thing every single morning from 7 to 8:30, faithfully. And he did it. Well, then when he left and we had to change, it got done once a week. And I'm not, I don't tell Brian what to do. I ask Brian to help me, but I don't tell Brian what to do. So Brian knows that there's been some things that have been a little neglected or not followed through. So
Then does it
he's,
make it real slick for
oh,
the
really
kids?
slick, and then the more
Mhm.
slick it becomes, the more the water stays and doesn't drain, and then more the water stays and drains in the 90-degree heat, the more the
More
algae.
algae.
And so we closed it for a weekend, or was it a weekend or a Saturday?
It was a Sunday, we had to
Yeah,
close it
Sunday.
because somebody
We had to
got on
close it, so.
Facebook and said,
Yeah.
don't send your kids to the splash pad in Leo because the algae's bad and your kids will get sick. And then everybody from the council and everybody from all jumped on us, and it's like, okay, it was 97 degrees, everybody had suntan lotion on, and kids had juice boxes. I don't know So we'll be on top of it this year, I guarantee you, and it'll be done more effectively, more often, and we'll be watching it, so.
Perfect.
And the more I know stuff about these
Yeah.
situations, the more I can plan around. I mean, obviously, I would try to pick Monday morning to go out and just knock it out and get it out of the way past, so the weekends are open and, so the
Yeah.
more I know about this stuff, the better.
One last thing I'm gonna tell you, because Angela asked me to tell you this. January 1, we had $234,904.03. We have taken in $10,107 in revenue. We've done really well.
Oh, yeah.
So, even after all our expenses, even after everything that we've paid out and everything that we have done, we are the same. We are $234,274. So we are, everything. And that's
Great.
it's only the 10th of March.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
That is.
we're doing good. So,
Well, thank
I just
you.
want to share that.
Yes,
Angela,
thank
Angela
you.
likes it to be shared so you
Yes.
know that we're not only sound, but we are just,
Yeah.
we're just, whatever we goes out comes in. And
That's-
whatever goes out comes in, and whatever goes out comes back in.
Yeah.
And we're just not.
That's
we're not-
phenomenal.
We're not dipping into our money in the bank.
Right.
We're just.
There aren't too many places in the area like that, are there? That you can,
Not that have the imagination station. There are other pavilions that you can rent.
Yeah.
They have little playgrounds, but the imagination station has, well, it's gonna even get better, but it has a really good community.
Draw.
And people go, oh my gosh, when my kids were there when they were 5 and 7, I took them there all the time, and now my daughter's having her first birthday, or my granddaughter's having her first, you know what I mean? We get that. My daughter's 36, and she was there when she was 5, 6, and 7 playing, so we're getting a lot of that. Riverside's nice if you want a splash pad, but if it's April and May and the splash pad's not open, and you're having a first birthday party, it's gotta be this year. I mean, that's just where they want it, so.
Well, just to give you an example, today, Cedarville was packed also.
yeah,
I
it
was
was.
there earlier and it was packed.
I was over at Riverside today, and I sat there and I counted almost 27 dogs.
Wow.
People walking dogs, not
Yes.
free dogs, but walking
Yeah.
dogs. And kids playing, so,
Yeah.
the weather's just bringing everybody out.
Yeah.
And the trail, I don't know if you've noticed, that has nothing to do with the park department, but the trail's been just in use the last 2 days. And it will continue to be that week, it'll be used, so. Well, thank you for your support
Well-
for the Hagen, thank you both for you guys willing to help, because sometimes it's just a little
Yeah.
overwhelming. When I look at that pile over there, I just get a
Yes.
little bit like,
Yeah.
so, but I think it's gonna be a big hit. The
Oh,
positive,
I think so
the
too.
feedback already has been so good, and I really do think that.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think it's gonna be, huge.
We'll be there with
Yes.
littles.
You got
Yes.
him, you got him. I expect you all to be there.
With no further business, we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will just mention, next Monday, since you brought up the trail,
Okay.
they're doing a groundbreaking for the Allen County's portion on Hirsch Road. That's gonna pick up
Right,
at Hirsch
yep.
and Halter and go
Yep,
over,
yep, yep.
so.
Where's
Trying to
it,
remember
it's gonna be
what
on
time.
Hirsch, that whole
It's gonna go to
side?
Parkview Hospital eventually. You're gonna be able to go to you're gonna be able to leave Leo and ride your bike all the way to Parkview Hospital and connect with that trail.
It's incredible.
The piece they're working on right now, though, will just go to Matea North.
Okay, because that's what it looked like, that's what they've cleared.
So,
And Grable, if you've been to Grable and you've seen all the trees down, yeah, they're getting ready. They're getting ready to do all their connections too.
You said that's this next coming Monday, correct?
yes, let me just, okay, so. Join the Fort Wayne Trails, Allen County Commissioners, the town of Grable, the town of Leo-Cedarville, and other trail partners on Monday, March 17th at the intersection of Halter and Hirsch for ribbon cutting and ground breaking. The event will start at 2 p.m. and is open to the public. We would love to see you all there. The ribbon cutting will be celebrating the completion of a new 1.5 mile section of the Cedar Creek Parks Trail in Leo-Cedarville, completed along Halter and Hassa Road and from Hirsch to Amstutz. Then join us as we celebrate the start of 2 new trail projects, the half-mile trail extension that will connect Halter Road to Matea Park along Hirsch, and a new trail in the town of Grable from the western town limits to the Leo Grable Sports Complex. So yeah,
What site are you reading that off of?
this was just a
Parks Department.
ribbon cutting that
Oh.
Tyler forwarded
Okay.
from Ken Castleman. If you
I
know-
didn't know if it was an advertisement.
Well, it's been pushed out, so yeah, it's open to the public.
It's
So
Yeah.
so like it's been in the courier, yeah.
Yep.
it's-
Yeah.
if
So
you're
on
able to
Hirsch
attend,
Road, is it gonna go all the way to Tomkel, or is it going to turn on, is that Puff? Or,
so long range. Let's see, I could probably pull that up. Long range, it will get over there somehow, but this bit they're doing is just in Matea Park North,
Okay.
at least to start. So, but yeah, there's from Hirschtown Reservoir all the way to the Puffer Belly is
Eventually
the
you'll be able to go
eventual.
down,
Yeah.
eventually you'll be able to go on Union Chapel, and then you'll be able to go through Matea and go right down Union Chapel all the way, and then connect with it at where Parkview Hospital is.
cool.
So someday you're gonna be able to, they said eventually you're gonna be able to get on your bike and ride 27 miles,
Wow.
and then turn around and ride 27 back, or you can call it Uber.
Yes.
Yeah. You've turned off the mic, right?